Cherishing Flow fam? If you're new to this channel, then stick around, see if you love me, and if you do, then turn on your notification bell, subscribe, all that good stuff and all that good stuff. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 productivity tips that saved my life. Productivity is what I am all about. You all know this. This is common knowledge. But lately, I have come across 5 things that I have been doing that has made a huge difference in my life. I feel like I am working smarter, not harder, and that is the whole point. Number 1 is moving at my own pace. I have decided to stop trying to keep up with the gurus. I know there's so many people who are just like grind, grind, grind. Gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe. And while I feel like there's some truth to that, you do have to have discipline. You do have to grind. You do have to push yourself. But at the same time, you have to stop putting yourself in the same position as these people who have help, who probably have assistant and assistant and assistant. So their grind really isn't that as big of a grind as they make it out to be. That's first and foremost. And second off, it's not healthy to try to force yourself to work 24/7. What's better is to pace yourself, work at your own speed, figure out your own rhythm, and get as much done as you can in a certain allotted time by being focused and concentrated on what you're doing, but not by overworking yourself and putting in more hours that 1, your body and mind can handle, and 2, is actually really necessary. Number 2, I outsourced more. Y'all, I am like the new advocate of having a freaking team because of the big difference that having a team has actually made on my life. I have hired, as you guys know, if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, then you should already know this, but if you're new here, I have hired in the past 6 to 8 months a virtual assistant, a regular, very part-time assistant, a engagement specialist, a content curator, and a video editor. 5 different things that I've outsourced. It took a lot of sacrifice. It took time. It was strategic. It wasn't like I just threw all my money and I didn't have nothing to eat. It was very strategic. I did things one at a time. I started with the VA and worked with the VA for months before I started hiring other things because I kind of got used to figuring out how I can make it financially. I made it in my budget. I figured out what I could do and whatever. I did make some sacrifice. DoorDash couldn't do as much, couldn't spend money on frivolous things like online shopping and stuff. But making the decision to outsource and hiring more people within my business and within the stuff that I do actually helped increase my income and increase the time that I had in general. So it helped my mental space and it helped my wallet. It has been beautiful. So a whole lot of things are getting done on a regular basis when it comes to the Cherishing Flow brand. And some of those times I'm asleep. Number 3 is I created routines that work for me. The key, in my opinion, to having a successful routine is flexibility. You do not want to have a rigid morning routine, night routine, workout routine, none of that. You need to be able to do what feels good. In the morning, when I'm doing my morning routine, there are some things that I try to always do. Something for my mental, something for my spiritual, something for my physical. There are things that I do. But there's some morning, for the physical, I wake up and I stretch. There's some morning I wake up and I do a full-fledged thing in yoga. There are some mornings when I can wake up and I'll be like, ooh, it's pretty outside. Let's go for a walk. That's very rare. My point is that I wake up and while yes, I do have a routine, it flows. I know what it is that I want to do in the morning. I did have something set in place, but I don't do anything that doesn't feel good for me to do that morning. I don't do anything that makes me feel like, okay, I have to do this because it's part of my morning routine. No routine should be that rigid. You get the basic points and then you move forward. And having routines that really work for me and doesn't just fit the what a successful morning routine looks like made a huge difference in my life because I don't feel like my morning routine consists of a to-do list the same way that my work day does. Having a routine that feels good to you, and sometimes your routine, you may have to switch it all the way up. My last morning routine video you guys saw, my morning routine doesn't look like that at all anymore. However, that's because at some point that routine no longer fulfilled me. It no longer made me feel good. It started to feel like a chore. And the moment it starts to feel like a chore, change it. Switch it up. Routines do not have to be rigid and consistent. You don't have to do the same thing every day for a year. It's not necessary. Number 4 is I became extremely mindful and picky about what I have around me in my life. And that means both in person and online. I don't spend time with people who do not feed me, inspire me, or make me feel some type of way in a positive manner. If somebody's around and they're not doing anything with their life, or all they do is go to clubs, all they do is party, no offense to all you partiers out there, but they're just not the type of people for me. I need people to have more going on for them than just, oh, I'm gonna go here. Oh, I like to get my nails done. Oh, that's fine and fun and cute and dandy, but I need people around me who are inspiring me, who are doing more than making me feel lazy. There was a time when I was following people on social media, and yes, I knew the people, or yes, I liked the people. I got along with them really well outside of social media, but the stuff they posted on social media either made me roll my eyes, completely threw off all the positivity, that I would be scrolling, seeing all this positive stuff, and then I see this one thing from this person that's just like a whole break of my flowy character. I say all the time that social media is not as toxic as people think it is if you are using it correctly. If something that you see on social media makes you feel anything other than positive, get off of it. Block it. Get it off your screen. It doesn't have to be there. You choose what you look at on social media. And I know that may be easier said than done for some people, but for me, when I got very specific about wanting my peace and my mental health to be a top priority, and I refuse to let anything in my environment, whether that be in person or online, negatively influence that, it became a no-brainer to start unfollowing people, blocking people, muting people, making it so that I don't have to see any kinds of content that does not do anything for me or that makes me feel anything other than positive. If I'm not feeling good about it, if I don't see, like, I don't mind seeing people like with their pretty little pictures that don't really have no purpose, but somebody posting stupid ignorant stuff, constant stuff that makes me feel negatively, I just don't have the energy. It's draining just thinking about. I for real just got out of breath. You definitely want to make sure that your online and in-person environment is feeding you, not draining you. Number 5 is I started combating my negative thoughts. For those of you that don't know, I have both anxiety and depression. So often, if you know anything about anxiety or depression, there are a lot of negative thoughts going through my brain consistently on a regular basis every freaking day. And so I started actively participating and arguing with myself. Maybe not out loud, sometimes, yes, out loud, but I will actively argue with myself. As soon as a negative thought comes in my mind, oh, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, da da da, I not only say, shut the F up, you're a liar, I also combat it with, yes, I can, I am this, I am more powerful than whatever the freak it is that you got going on up in my mind. And even though sometimes this doesn't work, sometimes your depression and your anxiety can be a little too powerful for you that day, but the practice of doing it every single time a thought came to my mind, there have been times that I've been sitting here combating with myself in my mind. My negative thought saying, oh, you can't do this, you're not good enough for this. And the other part saying, yes, I can, shut the F up, I can, shut the F up. Cursing myself out, basically. Somebody will walk in and I'm just sitting there quietly, not looking at my phone, not doing anything. And they're just like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh. Yes, I'm fine. And really, I was just having a whole conversation with myself, just not out loud. I try my best to have those conversations inside my brain. Sometimes I don't, but you know. It actually has made a huge impact on both my motivation, my confidence. It does make a difference when you're consistently, at first you feel silly, at first you feel stupid, like I'm talking to myself. But the more you are combating those negative thoughts, the more your subconscious starts to believe the positive because it starts to get louder. It starts to get more brave. You start to say it with your chest. And it does make a difference for your mental health. Those are the 5 productivity tips I have. Some of them you may not have understood why it was a productivity tips, but when you clear your mind, when you clear your space, when you're in a good headspace, you find yourself able to get more done more efficiently and with more focus. So just in case you was wondering how all that correlated together. Those are the 5 productivity tips that have literally changed my life as of lately and made me more productive, more confident, and more of a go-getter in my business and in my personal life as well. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your favorite part. If you made it to this point in the video, then you love me, right? You love me, all that good stuff. You like me, you like my face, and all that good things. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead, and thank you very much. And yeah, go ahead and follow me on all my socials, Cherish and Flow _ on Instagram and Cherish and Flow on everything else. Also, a reminder, May 14th, my ebook is coming out, How to Do What You Love. So if you're interested in learning how it is that I got to doing everything that I love to do, from YouTube to blogging, to my business and everything that I just enjoy doing, to bits and smithereens every single day, and I get paid for it and all that good stuff, then you're gonna be interested in this book because it was not by accident. It was a journey. There are gonna be a lot of things in that book where you guys really understood exactly where I started and how I got to where I am, so you can see a realistic look at the path that it takes. And subscribe to my email list because you're definitely gonna get a lot of updates on my email list and all that good stuff. See you guys in the next video.